Steve Fletcher here. Now hold your hand up if you are an unashamed Pink Floyd fan. Alright, so what I thought I would do today is I was just sort of looking through my vinyl collection the other day, of which is it's quite big, my vinyl collection. It's not as big as I want it to be, but is it ever? And I just sort of, my eyes couldn't help but fall on this. This is the Pink Floyd, the later years box set, which has now been out for nearly 2 years. And I just sort of looked at it and thought, God, I don't really do much with that. So I thought, well, do you know what? I'm going to do, not like a review or anything. Well, I suppose I'm doing a review, but just sort of a review of how it's entered my life over the last 2 years or not. You know, and I'm sure there might be people out there who are still on the fence about buying this. It's been there's been a lot said about this box set, so I just thought I'd take it apart and go through it and give you my pros and my cons of the box after having lived with it for a couple of years. So we're going to start off by unboxing it and just showing you what's inside this bad boy. Right, so let's have a look inside. I've tried to sort of keep it in its package as much as possible. I mean, you can see it's pretty big. It's a big box. It's frustratingly just a little bit bigger than a vinyl. It will fit any of you who've got these wonderful IKEA cabinets that are exactly sort of 12 inches by 12 inches that you keep a vinyl in. It will just about fit in there. But there you go. So yeah, I've tried to sort of keep it as, you know, together as I possibly can. So yeah, there's the front, there's the back. This very cool artwork on the back. I think it's all the words. Yeah, so it's a lovely, it's all the words from Momentary Lapse, Division Bell and Endless River. So opening it up, we've got in this lovely little packet, we've got all the tour books. So sort of a collection, if you like, of all the tour books, which are really, really nice. Very nicely put together. Obviously, they're not original, they're recreations. And I'm going to try and get this out of here without ripping it. So there we go. So we've got the sort of European leg of the Momentary Lapse tour. It's a really nice booklet, really nice tour guide. Very good condition, very good quality, I should say. And then this World Tour guide again. Look, we've got Rick on a picture, which is not always the case in the 86 era Floyd. So this is, you know, again, quite a nice tour book. There we go. Now this is the era that I was really interested in for the later years box. I'm a proper lover of the Division Bell tour, so I was very happy that we got this one. This is this book is going to adorn the wall at some point. It's going to go in a frame, and but yeah, this is a lovely European. This is the European tour concert book, and it's very, very nice indeed. Some lovely pickies. Great picture. What I would love, my dream picture on the wall is like a really huge picture of the Division Bell tour. Can't seem to be able to find one anywhere, but there you go. Looks like an ultimate Pink Floyd trivia test. In what country was Another Brick banned? There you go, that's one for you to think about and the answers. But I'm not going to tell you, I'm going to torment you. Ha ha ha. So there you go. Very nice. There's all the tour guide, booklets and stuff. And we've got the lyric book for the later years, which again, you can't ever complain that Pink Floyd didn't do visual things very, very, very well. So there you go. And these are kept in place with these lovely little side boxes. And then we've got this photo book, which is really nice, which I can't get out. There we go. So just an assortment of pickies from that whole era, which are brill. Building the Stage, and so on. Tour dates, blah, 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 blah. Okay, carrying on down, we've got the vinyl. Not the vinyl. This is the memorabilia. So this is all your other stuff that you would expect to get. And you've got things like, there's the vinyl, the Lost for Words vinyl. So there was the tour rehearsal recorded at Earl's Court. Ticket stubs, all kinds of fake stuff. A lot of stuff. Ticket stubs, stickers, an assortment of stickers, some posters, which again I would put up somewhere, but it's got creases in it. I don't really like to see creases in my posters, but there you go. There it is. Lovely poster. What's this one? Again, another big poster from the from the Momentary Lapse tour. That's for Russia, the Russian dates. And so on. More stickers, more fake tickets, more leaflets. Oh, look at that. That's a nice one. I quite like that one. The 94 tour was brilliant. And Venice programme. Oh, no, sorry. I tell a lie. Not the Venice programme. Venice tour poster. So, yeah, we could do quite well with posters and stuff. It's just a shame they've got all creases in them. I don't like to see... I would put them up on the wall, but I don't like to see creases. Thank goodness I don't iron for a living. And again, advert for the World Tour. Anyone out there in internet land can tell me how to rid posters of creases, and I would gladly put these up. So there we go, we'll sort that all out in a bit. So that brings us, that's all your stuff, that's all your bits and your pieces, and we'll sort all that out later. So that brings you to the stuff. Now, what I've basically, the only thing I've got rid of in the book, and it's one of my bugbears, which I'll get to later on, is I got rid of the DVDs. It's a ridiculous thing to have the exact identical Blu-rays and DVDs in a box. I just think it's absolutely ridiculous. But there we go. We'll get to that later on. All the CDs. So you've got Delicate Sound of Thunder, Later Years. So that's the Momentary Lapse of Reason remix. We'll get to that. Delicate Sound of Thunder remix 1 and 2. And all the sort of info, the CD info that you would expect for CDs and stuff. So there you go. That's everything you've got in there. Plus, it tells you all the information about all the DVDs and all the Blu-rays that you get. So it's just all the studio guff, the mixes and produced bys and all that kind of stuff that, quite frankly, no one ever reads. And there you go. So you've also got the Nebworth CD. That's never been released. And these rare live recordings and stuff. So we'll get to that. So then we've got the lovely collection of Blu-rays. So let's see what we've got. Let's try and get through them in order. So this has got your surround sound and high-res mixers on Blu-ray. So that's Momentary Lapse, Division Bell, and what have you. Now, I don't have 5.1 anywhere. I would love to have it, but I just don't. And apparently it's been replaced now anyway by the Apple audio thing. I can't remember what it's called. So there you go. You got your Delicate Sound of Thunder, restored, remixed. That's number 1 disc of that. No, I tell a lie. It's not the number 1 disc of that. It is the disc of that. That's the... Sorry, yeah, that's the Blu-ray. Duh, I'm being thick. That's the Blu-ray of Delicate Sound of Thunder. Then we've got the Pulse Blu-ray, again, re-edited and remixed, and we're going to come to my big beef with that in a little bit as well. Can't you just look forward to that? Unreleased live films. So we've got music videos Bonus live tracks. Why are they not on there? Again, I'm going to get to all this. Tour rehearsal stuff, screen films, concert screen films from both tours. We've got documentaries, none of which last very long. Again, I'm going to moan about that. I've not done these in order at all, have I? And then we've got Venice and Nebworth. So that's it. That's your inside of your box. Okay, so now that we've done that, so let's sort of talk about it in real terms. I'm going to go through the sort of the pros and the cons, really. And we're going to sort of start with the pros. Let's start with the pros. Let's get that over with. So pros-wise, it is phenomenally good quality. You can't ever complain. I think I've said this before. You can't ever complain that Pink Floyd do things, you know, on the cheap. This box is certainly not cheap, but we'll get to that in the cons. But it's a phenomenally well put together box. It's really good quality. It's 2 years old nearly, and you know, I mean, it's been in my vinyl rack and it's barely got a mark on it. There's a little dent there, which, you know, happened at some point. I can't even remember, but it is so well put together, and everything is in its own little place. And it's just brilliant. It's really well done. Content wise, if you are, you know, the casual Pink Floyd fan, you know, so basically what you've got, I mean, if you didn't know already, it covers what is basically known as the later years. You could basically call it the Rogerless years. I'm not going to get into that at all. If it's been nearly 40 years since Roger Waters left Pink Floyd, and they only released 2 and a bit albums since Roger left. If you still think there is merit in going, oh, well, Roger Waters this and David Gilmour that, then quite frankly, I don't need you around my house. All right. I just enjoy the whole Pink Floyd shebang and leave it at that. But yeah, it is basically the years from 1980. Well, Roger left in December 85. So it's everything sort of from January 86 that Pink Floyd did onwards. Okay. So what it covers there basically is the Momentary Lapse of Reason album, the tour that went with it, the Division Bell album, and the tour that went with that. Plus then you have the Endless River as well. So that's what's, you know, covered in your box set. There are a few omissions, which I'm going to get onto. But basically, you could pretty much put a line on Pink Floyd. The final performance of Pink Floyd happened in 2007 at the Barbican Theatre at the Syd Barrett tribute concert, where this era, this lineup of Pink Floyd did Arnold Lane. And it's in here on vinyl, which is actually quite a nice edition, which is an edition that I wasn't expecting to get. But that is quite a nice edition, and it's in this paraphernalia package on a vinyl, and it was recorded. There it is. In fact, look, first to my hand, and it was recorded there, and it's on as well on the DVD boxes, on the DVD extras as a little thing. Now that it's not filmed, you know, it's not professionally filmed. It's sort of culled from all the many bootleg camera phone footage that was put, and then the real sound is mixed in. But there you go. So we're going to go through the Momentary Lapse of Reason stuff. So let's get, in fact, just to sort of help me, I'm going to get this out. Let me see. What I'm going to get out is the CDs, which is just going to help me sort of start off with what I'm going to talk about. So the first thing that we're going to go through, the Momentary Lapse of Reason album was, you know, this very 80-fied album. Roger Waters did the Radio Chaos album, both of which are sort of very stuck in their era. But I never found a problem with that. This is me talking personally. I mean, what are you going to do? Are you going to D75 Dark Side of the Moon? Are you going to D65 Piper at the Gates of Dawn? It is what it is. It was made at the time, and it was made to try and be hip and try and be trendy, to try and get the band relevant as this new lineup. And so that on its own is a big, important part of Floyd history. And the fallout from that is, of course, is that it sounds like an 80s album. And so as the 80s went away, it's kind of stuck in that era. But I don't have a problem with that. It is what it is. Now, the remix, they've sort of remixed. What they've basically done is while they were recording that album, Nick Mason didn't do very much. Rick Wright didn't do, well, anything really. He came in to the sessions very, very last minute. And so what they've basically done is they've remixed the whole album and tried to put in Nick Mason's drumming parts and Rick Wright's organ keys parts and try to make it sound more like a homogeneous Floyd album. Does it work? No, I don't think it does work particularly. The songs are still the same songs. The playing from Gilmour, the singing from Gilmour is still the same, and it is still a very 80s sounding album. I don't mind it. It's a great album. It's got some of my favourite Floyd stuff on there. I mean, Sorrow's on there, Learning to Fly is on there, although the live version's better. Yet Another Movie is one of my all-time favourite Floyd songs, on the Turning Away as well. So, but yeah, I mean, it's worth it for it. But, if you've got the Momentary Lapse of Reason album already, do you need it again? I don't know. It sounds great, though. It really does. Next thing we've got is the Delicate Sound of Thunder remix. Now, this was the big money thing for this album, for this box set, is that they had gone back to the original tapes for Delicate Sound of Thunder, took it back to zero, basically, and redone the whole thing. It must have been a monumental task. So basically what they've done is they've removed all the 80s-ness from it, and it makes more sense to have done it for the live album and for the DVD as well. And it looks phenomenally good. It's in full HD. It sounds better than it ever did. All those sort of nuclear explosion snare drums, every time they hit the snare, that's all gone. And it does sound much more like a band of that era, the Pink Floyd stature. It sounds much more like that kind of band could be playing in any era. It sounds great. And the thing that I really, really love is they have, thank goodness, have included the full concert, which they never did before. The Delicate Sound of Thunder, both the video and the CD, the vinyl, the tape, whatever, they were all edited. They weren't presented as the full show. And Floyd, God bless them, have finally gone back and they have given us the entire show. So you've got things that were missing before. So, I mean, there's things from A Moment's Lapse of Reason that you're not really missing. Things like Terminal Frost and stuff like that. But it's a very 80s sounding song. But you've also got things like The Great Gig in the Sky, which was never on the CD, but it was on the video. On the Run, which was on the video, but not on the CD. And One Slip. But stuff that has never been released, like a... it's gone. Like Welcome to the Machine. There it is. I got yet another movie flying around my head. So stuff like that was never... So it's great. If you're going to release a live album, release the whole thing. And they have. Thank goodness. It's brilliant to see. Next one we've got, again, from that same sort of era, we've got both the Venice concert and the Nebworth concert. The Venice concert was always very easy to find on bootleg. I had it on DVD bootleg for a really long time. And you could also watch it as much as you wanted, really, on YouTube. So it was very, very... It's nice to get it. It looks well. They haven't been able to remix it, so it is as it was. But again, why not? But it's nice. It's nice to have it in sort of as good a quality as you're ever going to get to that Venice show, which is really, really lovely. And the same with the Nebworth concert. Now, the Nebworth concert was always a little bit harder to come by. It was kind of a famously terrible concert, quite frankly. By the time Floyd came on, the weather, good old British weather, had really taken hold. So it was blowing like a force 9 gale, and rain was coming in that direction rather than that direction. So there you go. both of which are just sort of really good presentations of the Floyd set at that time, and are worth sort of having. The Nebworth one was more of the surprise for this box than the Venice one, because it's sort of always been lambasted a little bit as a show, but it's nice to have it, and it is good to have it. So that brings us to the division bell, or rather the kind of lack of the division bell, really. We've got A Momentary Lapse of Reason on CD, but we don't have the division bell on CD. We do have it on DVD, Blu-ray, 5.1 surround sound, which I don't have. I don't have a 5.1 surround. It's something I've sort of on my list of dream things to have. But yeah, here it is. Yeah, so you've got the division bell on, this high-res DVD, Blu-ray. Well, this is the Blu-ray. I've got rid of my DVDs. We'll get onto that in the comms. But it seems a shame that they've not done a remix, remaster or anything and presented the division bell on CD. And the same goes for the Endless River as well. The Endless River is presented, I can find it, as this sort of, where is it? It's presented as this sort of Endless River documentary, which I must admit I haven't sat through yet. I've not really been that bored. I don't mind the Endless River, most of it. Some of it is definitely not worth it, but things like It's What We Do is brilliant. But it's so that's presented as this sort of documentary spa day footage kind of thing. But yes, it seems strange that they've not put those on a CD. And ditto with Pulse. Where's the Pulse remastered remixed CD? I would have loved to have seen that. So I'm kind of getting into cons and I don't really want to. Documentary wise, we've got a few docs. Not a lot, but a few things. Just a few curiosities. I mean, I mentioned the Arnold Lane thing. That's nice to see. You've got a few things, these the cover shoots for A Momentary Lapse and the cover shoot for Division Bell. That's about it, really. There's not a huge amount. There's these little sort of 10-minute clips, really. So there you go. I mean, so overall, pros-wise, if you've not got this material already, and let's face it, you probably have, or if that material, let's say you bought the albums, in 1987, 1994, and your copies are getting quite a bit tired now, and you want to get a refresher, then this is definitely the box to sort of invest in. The stuff that's on it is brilliant. It sounds great. So I would give big thumbs up for the quality of the presentation and how well it all sounds and what have you. So that's a big thumbs up for me. All right, so it's inevitable. We've got to go into the cons, and there are a few. The big one was the price. It was obscenely priced for what it is, considering that pretty much everything in it has been released already. There's very little rare and unreleased stuff on it. Considering that, the price was ridiculous. It has to be said. I didn't pay full price. I waited about a year and I just kept on every couple of weeks. I'd just click and just see, has it come down yet? Has it come down yet? And I got it. I think I paid £250 for it, knowing full well that I would sell, and I did, the accompanying DVDs. Which brings me to another sore point, is what on earth is the point of putting the exact same content on DVD and Blu-ray? Are they trying to corner that market of people who have got a DVD in one room and a Blu-ray in the other? It just makes no sense at all. DVD, it's pretty much a dead technology. You're getting into, we're in an era of massive streaming and stuff. So DVD is a hugely dying technology as far as I'm concerned. So why include it? I don't know. I mean, you might disagree with me. Feel free to disagree with me. That's what the internet is for. And I could almost say the same for Blu-ray. For Blu-ray. So I would like to have seen, a streaming option, download it to your phone so you can just send it to your TV or your device or whatever, the ability to stream the product, especially for the amount of money that you've paid for it. Okay, so that's my big bugbear, is it's so expensive and there's just very, very little stuff that makes you go, ooh, I'll pay for that. Very little, very little. Another big con is Floyd have no problem using these. They cut things all over the shop, and it is my biggest, winds me up with the Floyd. It's a great and gigantic missed opportunity. When it was announced, Pulse was what was my era. This is the concert that got me into Pink Floyd. So Pulse was always my interest on this release. And it was released, and it was advertised as restored and re-edited and remastered and put back and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yes, finally, the solos in Sorrow and Comfortably Numb and the little trims in Great Gig in the Sky and that overdub that doesn't make sense on High Hopes and all that kind of stuff, it's going to be removed and we're finally going to have like the solos presented in full. Are we buggery? They completely missed the opportunity to put those solos back into a medium that will take that extra length of concert. Can you tell I'm getting mad? And they've re-edited it to this really odd way for me, where it's like shot of Gilmour, shot of Mason, shot of Rick, shot of Gilmour, shot of Rick, shot of Mason, shot of Rick, shot of Gilmour, shot of Mason, shot of Gilmour, Mason, bit of the stage, it's really strange. It's like they're trying to erase everyone else from the show. It's a really very strange thing. And to the detriment of the visuals, you see very little of the stage going on. And to the point where there's a cut in Sorrow where Gilmour's not playing what you're flipping hearing, and it really winds me up. Ditto for the Delicate Sound of Thunder. They've gone through all this work to put the show back to this awesome looking high definition re-edited thing. And they've still not made the DVD, Blu-ray, the full concert. They've given us the full concert on CD, but not on the film. Why? It beggars belief, and it really does grate me. And it's like, oh, for God's sake. There's very little in terms of rare stuff. And it really annoys me as well that since this box set has been released, there's been things teased, like we've had recently had yet another movie demo. Where's that? Where are the demos? Where are the works in progresses? There's a few, but not enough. All of a sudden, when we've got this Lost for Words footage, this footage from the night before at Earl's Court, we've only got 3 songs, and one of them is the same song played twice. Where's the rest of that footage? You're not telling me that they just stopped and started the cameras for those 3 songs and left it at that. That footage is in the can. Where is it? If you're going to ask people to pay 500 quid for a box set, we want that footage. We know other footage exists, and the Pulse. The Pulse CD that was released was very heavily featured the Dark Side of the Moon set, and a real weird shuffle of the rest of the songs on CD 1. Where is a full non-Dark Side of the Moon set from the 1994 tour? Every single show on the 94 tour was professionally recorded. Where is it? Where is that stuff? So it's a real letdown in that regard. And a real letdown. I'm not as, I sound like I'm really mad. I'm not as mad as I could be if I'd spent, 500 quid on this box. I didn't spend 500 quid on this box. And I wouldn't have spent 500 quid on this box. I refused, quite frankly, to spend 500 quid on this box. But it is what it is. It's Floyd, quite frankly. They always sort of seem to manage to just sort of deliver just that much, but also leave just that little bit out. Size-wise, and I don't know if this is a complaint or not, it depends how you store your stuff, but I just want to show you how the size of it. So there it is. And here's a vinyl. Here's the accompanying later years vinyl, sort of greatest hits, I suppose. And you can see there that it's just that little bit bigger than the vinyl. So if you're keeping your vinyl stored on a shelf that fits your vinyl perfectly, it's not going to fit the box set. I've got these IKEA boxes, so my vinyl does go, and it does just, if you're putting it in straight, it just fits. But yeah, so there you go. Overall, my score is something like a C-. You know, great. The content that we've got is great, but it's just not enough. It's not, you know, and the fact that they've been systematically releasing all the individual elements of this box separately afterwards. You know, we've had the Delicate Sound of Thunder separately. We've had Momentary Lapse of Reason separately. You know, this compilation that was also released features a lot of the stuff that's also in there. You know, you've got that Lost for Words tour rehearsal and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it could have been, certainly compared to the early years box set, it could have been a phenomenally good set, but it's not. It's a good set, and you know, I probably watch Pulse a couple of times a year. I haven't watched Delicate Sound of Thunder for the simple fact that it bugs the hell out of me that it's edited and overdubbed. So there are moments on Delicate Sound of Thunder where Gilmour is just not playing what you're hearing, and it's obvious. I don't know if it's just obvious to me because I'm a guitar player and I'm just that much of a geek. I don't know, but there you go. So there it is. That's what it is. So yeah, C-. Good, could and should try harder. I hope you've enjoyed this little rant and rave. And I hope I've sort of helped to sort of sway you towards this. Don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to subscribe. And we shall see you next time. Bye-bye.